Hey, party people. Welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always set for two. I'm your host as always, Jeff Stormer, coming to you from my bed in a small hotel room in Duluth, Minnesota. Minnesota Webfest, y'all. This week on the show, I am so delighted to be playing Ironsworn Starforged, one of my favorite games in the world, with Chris Colón. Chris is a voice actor, an actual play producer, the founder of Tie No Tales, which is a queer Latin-led TTRPG actual play channel that focuses on telling intensely fantastical plots within strange new worlds. Tie No Tales was recently nominated for a bunch of awards at both New Jersey and Minnesota Webfest for the Mythic Initiative Season 2 Summer Vacation, which is an amazing show, extremely well-deserved. Chris is also a huge advocate for the Latin TTRPG community, especially during Hispanic Heritage Month, with this happening right now. You can go to Twitter over at VO_Colón, where he shouts out different Latin creators in the TTRPG and actual plays every single day during the month. It is a wonderful initiative and a way to meet just an incredible number of tremendous, talented performers in the space. And also just genuinely one of the nicest people in the entire space. Chris is lovely, a wonderful person, and I was so thrilled by this game. This was something special. You can go check out all of Chris's work in the show notes. Ironsworn Starforged, like I said, one of my favorite games in the world. It is a role-playing game of spaceborne heroes sworn to undertake perilous quests. They explore uncharted space, unravel the secrets of a mysterious galaxy, and build bonds with those they meet on their travels. And most importantly, you swear iron vows and see them fulfilled no matter the cost. Ironsworn is my beloved back pocket. I could play this game in 2 minutes notice game. I fucking love this game. I will play it forever. This game rips. You can find more information about Ironsworn Starforged in the show notes. But first, an ad. But for me this time. Hey party people, it's Present Jeff. I want to talk to you about a new thing that we're doing over on Patreon that I think you might really want to check out, and that is Party of One Plus One. Party of One Plus One is a new Patreon exclusive bonus series that we're doing, which expands on Party of One, deeper conversations with returning guests. We're featuring bonus episodes where we continue the stories we tell on the podcast, new games with returning guests to keep the conversation about our shared passions going, and deeper looks at games that we're playing on the show to kind of show off the games that we're playing in a different light. We recently released an episode with friend of the show, Jadzia Axelrod, where we did kind of a superhero DC Comics fan fiction story starring Galaxy from Galaxy the Prettiest Star. We're about to drop a deeper dive into the game Pale Dot, which we're playing next week on the show, with designer Devin Nelson to kind of like show off the range of stories that game can play. We've got returning guests like Emily Booza, Rich Howard, Senda. There's a lot of cool stuff. I think that it's worth checking out if you haven't checked out the Patreon before, if you checked it out a while back and dropped off. All of that can be found at patreon.com/JeffStormer. If I say something else different later on in the episode, you're listening to an old episode, that URL is out of date. It's patreon.com/JeffStormer. And now, back to me in the past. And with all that said, let's go ahead and throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me. Thanks, future me. I am really very, very excited. I'm sitting down with Chris Colón. Chris, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
I am stoked. We talked a little bit off mic about how much I adore the game that we are about to play, but I will gush more about it in a moment. But before we get into all of that, why don't you take a moment, let our lovely listeners at home know about anything you've got going on that you might want them to know about?
Well, hi, my name is Chris Colón. I am a TTRPG producer, performer, primarily on my channel, Tie No Tales. It is kind of one of the few sort of Latin led channels within sort of the grander space of TTRPGs, within the actual play miasma industry, whatever you want to call it, is where I lie on my little perch there. I'm also a voice actor on top of all that, so I have a very big focus on performing. It's one of the things I love doing here in total. I'm excited to get my hands in this game as well, because I've heard rumblings through the sphere about it, but I never had the time to really sit down with it.
I'm so excited. We are playing Ironsworn Starforged, which is, listeners know this because I've said it before. This is genuinely one of my favorite games. This is probably my back pocket, can break this out at any situation, zero prep, easy for me to run and jump in, whether I am like solo playing it by myself or just like sitting down at an impromptu table. I can crack this out and never have a bad time with it. I am so thrilled. Talk to me about like what is it thematically? What are we bringing to the table? What are you excited about playing and exploring about the game that we're going to play today?
I think the first and foremost, sci-fi. A lot of what I've done on my channel has been urban fantasy and also just fantasy in general, high fantasy. But sci-fi is one of the few things that I absolutely love, and I haven't really gotten a chance to sit down and play a game with it. I think I've done home game. I did Lancer, which I find was awesome and lovely. But I heard a lot about this game, and in terms of what I'm going to bring to this bad boy, I'm just going to bring my good old charisma, and also just carefree of let's just see what the dice roll. I got pretty poor luck, so I think I could bring that too.
I enjoy that. I'm excited for this energy. So we have, you have rolled up a character. You have built out your initial assets and vows. Talk to me about who you're playing this week.
I am playing Reggie Ramos. Reggie Ramos is kind of in terms of look, he's a young man that's a little bit tested due to the fact that he is partly an explorer. He kind of goes about, he's from a long line of explorers and is currently kind of looking about to find sort of his family members that have kind of been lost in the ether. It's not easy being an explorer because you can get lost, and his family has. So it's one of his vows to go out there and try to find all 5 of his family members that are out there in space. On top of all that, of being an explorer and on the natural side, he's also a kinetic. He's got a little bit of kinetic powers, a little bit of little bionics from Mass Effect in him. He's got that energy with him. And of course, any good explorer has a companion. And for me, I have a good old survey bot with me who helps me on my path because Reggie is... He's all right in terms of smarts. He's all right. He could get he's get degrees, so he's good there. But he's got a lot of heart, a lot of edge to him. So that's what he's bringing. He's quick on his feet.
What's the survey bot's name?
I'm gonna call it Beepy.
Beepy is very good. Beepy's very good. Okay, so where we find ourselves. Talk to me about your ship. I know every character, Ironsworn characters tend to have like a ship that they cruise through. A little bit of setting detail is, this is out in the Outlands. This is the furthest most travelers will get in their time in space. Settlements are far and few between. This is a lot of like long distance isolated travel, and the people bouncing about the aforementioned Ironsworn are people who are floating from job to job, seeking out the next great horizon, usually alone in a ship, a lot of time drifting from place to place. It is like a quiet, isolated, often lonely existence. And the ways in which your ship is often the space where you spend the most time. So it is a reflection of your home life and a reflection of your personal being. So with all of that said, talk to me about what your ship looks like, what it's called, and what's the general vibe inside.
I think as we're kind of going through space and looking through everything, I think you see painted, which would very much like that vintage style of if a World War II bomber has sort of the painted name on the side. I think it's the same here as well. The ship itself is like really kind of old in nature. It's called the Nova. That's painted in just like this beautiful faded, I would say teal and white on the side. It is a bit of a clunker, a bit of a junker in terms of like, it is for game purposes, just that medium, but it looks like it's a little bit heavier, very much heavy duty. It's been kind of a handy down in terms of passed down from generation. I think going inside of the ship, while the outside of space is lonely and no one can hear you scream, the inside is quite different. I would say that the inside is kind of blaring with this kind of royalty-free, safe Johnny Cash equivalent music that is just blaring through. I think you can see Reggie's not a clean person.
Sure, yeah.
You'd think it would be something you would want to do, but it is a little bit of a mess everywhere. And primarily you can see from books to clothes that hasn't been washed to equipment that should be secure, but it's not. It's kind of all over the place. But right now, I think Reggie is kind of almost near his cockpit, kind of in a subsection where you can kind of overview all the systems. And you can just see that going in, he's just sifting through a pile of vinyls at the moment to see what he wants to play next before heading back to the front and continuing his journey out here in the stars.
As you are sifting through records, something starts to beep. I imagine like the space being as messy and like crowded and cluttered as it is. Alerts and signals and things like that. There's a little bit of figuring out where exactly what computer or what alert is beeping and having to like dig through things. Talk to me about what that looks like.
I think he finally going through like hundreds of records, like, oh, finally. And then immediately as the noise goes, I don't think it's even blaring. I feel like it's under probably something, and that's what his concern is. It's like,
sure.
Oh, crap. And you see he's just like going through things. Nope, that's not it. Ooh, that's rancid. And then I think after some time, after pushing these over, I think he sees like it's a pile of clothes that he just goes, and kind of pushes it off to sort of reveal whatever this noise is.
This noise is it is like a signal beacon. It is effectively, I'm gonna ask you before I say what this is. How long where is the last, like, settlement that you've been coming from? And how long have you been sort of, like, in space? Like, how long has it been since you've been, planet side? And, like, where were you coming from? What's the kind of space that you've been coming from?
I think it's probably about 2 weeks, so not too, like a good medium time period. I think he kind of went down to kind of deal with somebody, very much of explorer of like, he kind of finds things for people that are looking for stuff or to do that. So the last time he was down, he was trying to finish off a deal, but also doing whatever payment he got to use to refuel because he knew where his next place was, especially in the quadrant he is. He's gonna have to take a bit. So, he's like stocking up on fuel. So I think it's about like that medium time period. Not too long, but also not too recent. So he's been out for quite a bit, but not too long.
Love that. You are getting effectively a safe harbor beacon is effectively what is, like, there is a signal indicating just kind of like blasting out. It's not really directed at you. It is truly a settlement nearby sending out a signal to any ship in the vicinity, indicating that it is safe to dock and it is that there is a safe harbor nearby.
I think looking upon that, I think he does a double take to the clothes around him and does that very stereotypical thing and just like picks up a shirt. I think we could do with some dry cleaning, and kind of proceeds to set up whatever navs he has to just like, let's check this place out and hopefully we can, clean some clothes at least while we're here, or burn them in case we can't salvage anything.
I love that. I love that a lot. That's fantastic. Yeah, and I think as you you start to make your descent, the planet that sort of like makes itself visible, but like comes into view, right? We see the planet come into view that the settlement is located on. It is a colossal ice planet. And it is only like you can see tundra and frozen ground beneath massive, overwhelming clouds of toxic gas in the atmosphere. This is the ice world of Fluxferous. Fluxferous is, it's not really anything that's in your records necessarily, because it's largely an uninhabited rock is the best way to put it. You don't really have any record of a settlement existing on this planet. And so the fact that they're signaling and the fact that you can, if you choose to, you can either like land planet side and investigate without letting them know you're coming, or you can signal to let them know you're coming. But either way, like it's not a space that you have any given information on.
I think, if anything, they are broadcasting like, hey, we're a settlement energy out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think Reggie, he always gets better for the doubt. I think at first he's like very much driving by and I'm just like, and does kind of a double take for himself because it's probably got some kind of underground whatever, and kind of goes, lets whoever's down there know that I think kind of requests docking in the sense of like clearance if he needs to. But whatever he does let whoever's down there know, like, hey, this is a ship. I'm incoming. Just want to make sure if it is okay to land.
I think this is going to be our first roll because I think like you establish comms with the with the docking protocol on this station at this settlement. You request clearance to land. I am going to have you roll to see how this goes. I'm going to have you roll to make a connection. This is my chance to explain a little bit about how like dice mechanics work in Ironsworn. You are going to roll 1d6. I'm trying to decide if I want you to roll your roll challenge. I'm going to roll challenge dice because I like rolling dice. So here's how this is going to work. You're going to roll 1d6 and add your heart bonus. I am going to roll 2d10. The results on these are going to tell me the difficulty of the action that you're attempting. And your goal is to beat one or both of the values that I roll on these 10-sided dice.
Gotcha. Oh, boy.
Okay. Sure.
So with mine, I rolled a 3 and I got a 1 in heart. So I got a 4 in total.
Okay, that is a weak hit. I rolled a 3 and a 10. So you've beaten one of my 2 dice. And that means that this is a weak hit, which means that you create a connection. We are going to introduce who this character is and give them a rank. And whenever your connection aids you on a move associated with their role, you'll add 1 and take 1 momentum. Momentum is a currency that you can spend to get yourself out of a jam by basically automatically rolling a given result on an action. So you want to collect momentum so that at any time you can burn that momentum. Say you have momentum 7, you can go, I actually rolled a 7 on this roll, and then I'm going to spend all of my momentum to do that.
Got you like a Uno reverse card, just like, oh,
exactly.
No.
It's very much a no of like you can look at the dice and go, oh, I don't really like this at all. I am burning my momentum, which resets your value to its baseline, to say, actually, my result is this, which can either guarantee you a hit, pull you out of a miss, anything like that. So let me see who I want this character to be. Let me pop open. One of the things that I love about Ironsworn is that it's got some of the best oracles and like random generation tools in any game ever. So I am just popping things open. Okay, that's really fun. I admittedly, my GM prep for this was that I rolled 100 D100 so that I could cruise through oracles very easily.
It's peak efficiency.
I was like, it's just going to save me time to like go through all of these tables. That's really funny. And there. Okay, great. You hop on a call. And you can hear. I guess I should ask. This is a good like setting. This is a good like shared visual moment. Talk to me about what it looks like to be on a call. Are we looking at holograms? Are we looking at like CRT displays and like pixelated pictures?
I think it's
Are we just like radio? Like what's the vibe?
I think it's very much Star Wars kind of energy, sort of that hollow kind of semi-color. It's very much of like a hollow pops up of the figure. And it's that sort of semi-color, like it's not full like HD, whatever. It's just like you can still see the blue emanating off of it. I think for Reggie's ships, it's a little bit older. It flickers a lot. So it's like the communication is still going, but it flickers ever so often that he has to hit it like an old TV.
Love that a lot. So this pops open, and the first thing that you notice
is their cigar. They have a cigar that is easily probably the largest cigar that you or I have ever seen, sticking out of their mouth, and it is fully like they are not moving it as they speak. And they just pop it on. You got the lodge. Can you go ahead and let us know if you are armed or if we got to shoot you out of the sky? Because we are prepared to do that, but I'd rather not if I don't have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's a little wild. I mean, you guys are literally sending out a code letting people know that you're around. Why? Did something happen to require you to shoot people out the sky?
Not really. It's just, we want people to know that we're here, but we also don't want people to mess with us necessarily. So, it's a little bit of a, I'm kind of, it's kind of, you got like a doorman at the club or a bouncer at the club. It's that kind of deal. Just letting you know the deal. What can we do for you, sailor?
Oh, yeah. I got a pile of sticky clothes here. Very much kind of concerned that it might mutate at any second, and then I have to deal with the whole, monster on the ship scenario. So I was just wondering if you guys have any kind of, cleaning or something like that down there. I can sort of pop my clothes in.
You know what? And they kind of lean back for a second. You kind of see, I think it's it's one of those, it's almost, I'm visualizing like Fallout 2 cutscene dialogues, where it's just like it's the bust up. Yeah, it's that, but hologram version. You just see them lean back and kind of like they swivel in their chair for a moment. We got some laundry service. We got some amenities. If you're just looking for a place to bunk up for a couple days, get a wash of clothes and a warm meal in your belly, I think that is exactly what the lodge is made for. So why don't you go ahead and disable any of them weapons that you got on that ship, make your way down, we'll send our signal, and we'll welcome with open arms.
Yeah, sure, right away. Good to see you. Thank you, Lodge.
If anybody asks, tell them, I gotta think, this is, if anybody asks, tell them Railgun sent you, you won't have any problems.
All right, thank you, Railgun.
That's me, I'm Railgun. Comms call ends. Sure enough, a moment later, you get a coordinate ping that kind of like tells you where the settlement is. I imagine it's beeping under a different pile of clothes somewhere else on the ship.
Just leads it off. He goes, "Baby, I need you to put these clothes on a pile if you be so kind."
Beep, 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 beep. Boundary. Not my problem. That's a you problem.
Baby, come on.
Beep, 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 beep. Reaffirmation. Again, not my fucking problem. That's a you problem.
Yeah, okay. All right, got it. I gotta do everything on this goddamn ship.
Beep, 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 beep. Assertion of value. You know full well that that's not true, and I provide all kinds of useful services.
All right. Just kind of pushes them off.
Beep, 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 beep. Reassertion of friendship. Love you, buddy.
Love HK energy droid energy. Love it.
So as you start to make your way down, two things trigger immediately. You enter into the atmosphere. Your ship is initially, we get a little moment of Star Trek shaky cam as you are like hurled a little bit as like a blast of noxious gas cloud atmosphere hits so hard that like flips you around, causes even more mess of the clothes. Your ship is able to right itself in a moment, but being outside in this environment is a challenge. The other thing that you get is you here actually I'm going to go be so bold as to say this and then see how you react.
Mm-hmm.
What you don't get is like a radar ping or a systems ping for the other ship that you see floating down the atmosphere in front of your front viewing window. You can see there is a ship, and you can see that it is a very well-armed hunter-class vessel. And yet it is not signaling any of your radar, your computer array, like nothing is being signaled as this other ship is also floating downward to the surface. What do you do at that moment?
I think it's 50-50 because his space instincts kick in just like it's not your problem, but in terms of like them coming down, being so close, nothing, I think he tries to pull up comms again and kind of goes, Railgun, hey buddy, everything.
You got Railgun.
Hey, Railgun. So is the whole, no weapons thing, making sure everybody knows who we are, is that like a general rule, or do you guys kind of, give like a pass for some people?
Are you asking if I'm good at my job? Because I'll tell you, I'm goddamn great at my job.
I mean, I don't want to be the performance review guy here, but I'm looking at a ship that's the definition of well-armed that's not popping up on radar, so I don't know if you know that. I mean, I'm just a concerned citizen here.
You watch the cigar fall out of their mouth as they lean forward, look around. We don't got a second ship making a docking plan. Do you want to... I know that we're friends and all on account of you did what I said and shut down your weapons and I didn't have to blow you out of the sky. Do you want to become best friends right now?
Depends. Does it come with a paycheck or at least some free clothes?
It'll come with room, board, and hold on, give me a second. And you see them like go to flip what you're pretty sure is like the mute button on the call, and then they lean backwards and you hear every word. Hey, can we give this merc a bucket of chips? Can we get them some chips for the gambling? We can get you... crap, we can get you a bucket of chips for the gambling hall. How's that sound?
Make a barbecue flavor, and then you got a deal.
Well, you know what? I mean, if that's how you want to play it, we can play it that way, but a different kind of chip. But you know what? I like where your head is at. And they kind of lean forward. Can you, we're gonna... And they like hit some buttons. They send a signal to your ship. We're giving you landing codes for our back docking bay. If you can quietly tail this ship, see what their plan is, see where they're touching down, and then fly back around to the back docking bay so that they don't see you, that would be ideal.
I'll try my best. And I think at this point kind of hits the intercom on the ship. Go, hey, baby. I'm going to need you to cockpit seat here. We got a bit of a problem.
Beep, beep, beep. Affirmation of incredible extensive skill set. You know me and what I do. I am here to serve. And like they settle in a few different wires. Talk to me about like the appearance of Beepy. I realize I did not ask what Beepy looks like, and I just leapt straight to the robot that was in my head. What's the vibe?
Beep Beep is like the embodiment of like the way you're talking. Wonderful, all that. But the thing is, the height does just not match the energy. It is very much like that. Was it Fallen Order? Kind of like two bipedal, small like dog. Very much like a small dog, not a regular dog. So
right.
It's this sassy little robot going around telling me, but I think you just see them really just, when they're getting into the cockpit seat, they are connecting, but it's more of a hop versus them putting their legs up. So they kind of just very much Yoda hop onto the seat and connect.
They kind of like wobble for a minute. There's like a brief spurt of ozone as like a jump jet hurdles them onto the cockpit. And then several like cables jut out and like connect to, think like R2-D2 connecting to like computer systems. Like it plugs in, beep beep plugs in, and the ship takes over the ship. What are you doing? Because I think this is gonna be a move as you are trying to tail this vessel. What are you trying to do here? Talk to me about your plan, and then we'll figure out what dice you're rolling.
I think he's going to play it safe because he is an explorer and not necessarily a military person. He doesn't... I mean, he's been in a few scraps, but he doesn't like to fight people. So I think he's just going to follow it to the T, especially he's looking at his food stores and be like, some chips would be nice. A little variety to his flavor. So I think he's just going to very much, stalk it out, or very much like tail behind... Using, I think, whatever mist or cover from the ice that he can to
Sure.
act as, just something in it rather than it being, oh, look, another ship. So blending in.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Love this. I am going to, I think this is, let me remind myself if there are specific, I don't think so. I think I'm having you roll face danger. I think that's the vibe here. Actually, before I do that, I think if you're trying to use the environment to your advantage, I'm going to have you secure an advantage. So you are going to roll, what do we think this is? Do we think this is deception? Do we think this is expertise? What's the vibe here? And do you have an asset that would help you out in this moment?
I think first off is the storm itself. How bad is it? Because if it's really bad, I feel it's going to be more expertise. But if it's not, it's going to be more deception.
I think it's, so what you quickly realize is there's kind of two things unfolding at once, which I think does make this, I think it does make this expertise in a wits roll, because the two things that you notice in rapid order are there are these overwhelming, sort of like noxious green storm clouds, like a big planet storm, like sweeping over everything. And the other thing that you notice is that you are approaching and you see a massive ice canyon that is, the wind is carrying the ice and almost like rapidly changing the layout of the space in real time. So you are watching these like ice spires suddenly jut out in the span of an instant and then like break down underneath these like chaotic storms. So there is both this element of like storm clouds and fog and also like rapidly changing landscape that I think would make this into a wits roll.
Fantastic. And I think the other thing is my survey bot. I don't know if they can help me here, because I know when they kind of scan ahead, it says when you undertake an expedition, which I know me kind of is not, you get to add like a +1 to this. So I don't know if they can help out in this situation.
So traditionally that is like a specific move, but I think it actually does apply here. I think that like, especially being plugged into the ship, I think Beep Beep is able to like get a survey of the land, and I think I'm going to give you a plus. I'm gonna let you invoke that here, especially because I'm not sure if we're gonna be doing a lot of like expedition stuff, and I like giving you the opportunity to play with the toys in the toy box.
Fantastic. So am I adding +1 or +2? I know you were talking about
add your wits +1.
Got it. Oh Jesus Christ. Well, luckily my wits is 3, but I rolled a 1. But so with that's was it 1, 3?
I rolled a 1 and a 2, so you were fine. You're golden. So that is a strong hit. So you get add 2 to your momentum. And then take +1 on, I'm going to give you a choice. The weather is in your advantage. You are being an explorer, having Beep Beep. This ship clearly not, the thing that you're able to glean is that this ship is clearly not made for, or like the crew is not used to navigating environments. They are clearly soldiers first and explorers second. So I'm going to give you 2 options, and this is going to determine the roll that you're going to make. Are you just trying to keep out of view and tail them, or are you trying to like figure out information about them? Or do you want to face danger and try to get a beat on their location and get to the rear docking bay safely? Or do you want to like investigate them and do some gathering of information?
I think gathering, because if it's very much his directive was like try to find out most of what you can about these guys and then come back. So I think investigation is what he's going to be probably doing. Okay.
So then you are going to roll me plus wits. And I have rolled my 2 dice. I've got my challenge dice in front of me. Roll me plus wits.
Yeah, fantastic. I got rolled a 3, got a 3 as well, so that's a 6.
All right, that is a weak hit. The information provides new insight, but also complicates your quest. Take +1 momentum. And what you figure out is the first thing that you see is the settlement in question. The Lodge, as it is called. This is a downed capital ship. Like, this is a massive, almost like a space yacht type thing, right? Like, this is a ship the size of a small city that is crashed and punctured into this canyon, and it looks like it has been here for a while. You see like chunks of ice kind of like stretch over it and periodically like shift it ever so slightly. And there is, and you get this, and like the city itself is the ship itself is the settlement. It seems like it has been crash landed here long enough that the people on this ship sort of just turned it into the place that they live.
Just like, you know what? Let's make the best of a worse situation.
They have made the best of a bad situation. And you watch on like the wall of this canyon in one of these like rapidly expanding and collapsing cave sites. You watch this hunter class ship overlooking the lodge blast a hole with like a thermite cannon and settle inward, very specifically taking the high ground where the ship can overlook the city itself. And in doing that, you get a call sign. This is, hold on, I have a name. This is the Anteater. The Anteater, because it is known for sniffing out things of high value. This is a treasure hunting pirate ship. It is known for surfing the waves until the crew finds word of something of immense value, and then blasting their way in, taking it, and then leaving. They are bandits, but they are not just bandits. They are bandits who are only interested in booty of the highest world-changing, life-changing value. The reputation that this ship has is that they are not looking to be thieves. They are looking to be the thieves of legend.
I think with that information, a little bit of like of an indie jumps into Reggie. Just very much of like, whatever they have, I don't think they're supposed to take. And I think his mission kind of shifts from like, oh, let's just spy on these people and go away, to you have a responsibility to society to not let these guys take whatever they're going to take. And I think he's going to be a little bit more insertive into this rather than him just dipping out. He was very much of like, I got what I needed, kind of go energy. But after seeing what's going on here, he's very much of like, oh, I got to get involved.
Sure. Yeah. So what's the next step in the plan?
I think are they landing inside whatever cut hole they're going in? Or?
Yeah, they have like blasted a small cave, and you can see that it's a combination of like their ship's jet engines and thermite cannons are keeping that cave in place. Like, you can see elsewhere a cave will like pop open, spiral for a moment and then slam shut. They are forging their own cave in the wall of this canyon specifically to like loom over and watch this city, presumably in preparation for some kind of action.
I think, if anything, gonna stay back, and when they kind of go, he's just gonna follow suit. If they're trying to land somewhere, he'll land next to them, but if they are like in the middle of a heist while they're in the air, he's gonna try to stop it.
They are not actively doing anything at this moment. You're able to like land next to them nearby. But I do think that is going to be a face danger to land nearby without being detected.
Fantastic. Which one is this here?
I think this is going to be plus shadow.
All right. Oh boy. Okay. Let's see. Hey, it's not bad. Is it 5? And I only have a 1, so that's a 6 for me.
That's a strong hit. That's a 2 and a 3 on the challenge dice. That is a strong hit. Take +1 momentum. You land safely. Railgun pops on like you get a ping on the comms from Railgun. Do you answer?
Yeah, I go boop. This is Nova.
What do you got? What do you got for me?
It just seems like a bunch of scavengers, to be honest. Maybe looking for something. I want to see. I'm kind of side by side right now, so we'll see what happens. But just be prepared. I don't know if you guys have someone anti-air or something like that, just in case, they try to make a run for it. I mean,
Well,
with a name like Railgun, I'm assuming you have, a railgun.
Believe me. Okay, I am trying my best not to get excited about what we got on this ship, right? In terms of weapons, because I don't get a lot of opportunities to bust it out. We're primarily these days in the hospitality business, and so like I don't get a lot of opportunities to go, battle stations and ready the guns. So forgive me if I'm starting to look a little bit excited, but I'm getting a little excited.
But I'm just gonna assume you're just happy. So
I'm just excited. I don't get a lot of opportunities to do my job.
Railgun, don't railgun me.
I listen. You got my comms. You got my comms number. Give me a call. Let me know if and when you need me to start firing weapons, and we'll start lighting up the sky. But we're gonna wait for your signal. You tell us what you know. You give any information you got. You let us know. We appreciate it. We will. And I am going to. Let me see if I think this might be. I'm trying to decide how I want to do this. Okay, here's what I'm going to say, and you can make the active choice to like pursue this through a roll if you want, but like they definitely pause for a moment and say like we will make sure that our important cargo is kept safe under lock and key. You find out what you know. It is clear that they are not saying something. Or that there are things that you don't know. Like, it is clear that there is something that you are not aware of. You can try to figure that out at this moment, or you can leave it and focus on figuring out who these scavengers are. But that choice is yours to make.
You see, he kind of goes, "Hey, Railgun buddy, come on, I thought we were best friends. What you want to? I'm out here freezing my butt out here. You're not gonna lie to me, are you?"
All right, that's a compel roll. Give me this is you're trying to persuade someone and make them an offer. This sounds like it's with heart because you're pulling on the friendship. Take an extra +1 because you have a connection with Railgun, and roll me plus heart.
Oh. So my question for momentum: do I have to state it before I roll, or can I be like,
No, you can do it after you roll.
All right, I'm gonna use my momentum 6 here because I rolled a 1, so that's gonna be a 7 in total.
7 in total is a strong hit. I rolled a 4 and a 6. That's a great use of your momentum. Your momentum resets to its base value, which I believe is 2.
Oh, 2. Okay, I thought it was going to be 0. That is that bad.
No, you always reset your momentum to your base value. It can drop lower if you take wounds.
Gotcha.
But it starts at a reset of 2. So on a strong hit, they do what you want and agree to your conditions. And so take +1 momentum back, and they kind of pause for a second. You're working for us. This is technically a professional arrangement. I guess I can. We found something under the ice a couple of days ago. I don't know how word got out. If somebody's out here hunting, this could be. Well, I'll put it this way, and you tell me what you think about this. You're my eyes on the field. This could be a smash and grab operation. They could just be trying to steal a couple of power generators, maybe a bucket full of poker chips, and call it a day. That we can deal with. The problem is if they are trying to make their way to the facility.
Well, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, Railgun, but these guys literally pulled out a thermite launcher, so, that's kind of, it's a prepared action. You don't go to casino with thermite, I mean, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I think these guys are pretty serious. What exactly did you find? Is it organic? Is it mechanical? Is it synthetic? What is it?
It is. Give me a second to roll on some,
pull
on some tables with my pile of dice. That's great. That's sick. I love this.
We found an ancient churro, the last in existence.
Okay, great. And okay, great. We have, it ain't exactly operational yet. We have a communications array from someone. Okay, this is gonna sound this is gonna sound when I
Railgun, you gotta spit it out, man.
When I say someone from beyond the stars, you gotta know how serious it is for somebody who lives in a spaceship to say beyond the stars. We're not exactly talking about 1 or 2 systems over. We are talking about a communications platform that, if we could get it up and running, we might have made actual contact to somebody on the other side of the warp.
Okay, that's pretty cool, I guess, yeah.
Now, you know this. I think anybody in the world of Ironsworn knows that ever since a Maelstrom event lifetimes ago, maybe decades, maybe centuries, maybe millennia, lifetimes ago, longer than your life and the life of anyone that you've come into contact with, this sector, this cluster of planets, this cluster of stars, this small region of the cosmos has been isolated from everything else. You know, like there is the wilds, there is the outermost depths that a traveler might never arrive at, or the expanse and the void.
Mm-hmm.
There is, but like the Forge, where you live and where everyone you've ever known has lived, this small cluster of stars is galaxies away from anyone and anything beyond. And so this communications platform, if Railgun is to be believed, and if they can get it up and running, might be the first contact that anyone in the Forge has made beyond the void in possibly centuries.
I think with that knowledge, he still keeps his answer. He still keeps the energy of like, cool, yeah, whatever. But on the inside, he goes, oh my God, 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 oh my God. When he gets outside, just very much of, yeah, that's great. Real good. So it seems like a thing of concern.
I mean, this is everything. This is game changing. If somebody's out here trying to snatch this, fuck.
Well, I'm gonna close this one out here, so I guess I can should I follow them in? I guess I should follow them in.
I mean, I hate to put you in. Here's what I'm gonna say. If you can get eyes on who they are, if you can, you know, get us intel on what we're up against, if you can, whatever you want to do, you're our eyes on the outside. I am your exceedingly impressive gun array on the inside. You tell me what you need from me, and I will tell you what we need from you, and that is just see if these folks are coming for a stay in the casino, or see if they're coming for a piece of our discovery.
I think he kind of goes, well, okay, fine. So this is what I need you to do. As you see, he begins to sort of take the comm with him. Very much is beginning to change into an exosuit to go out. I know you're trigger hacky, but I would highly suggest if you have any EMP rounds, you load those bad boys out in case these guys try to make it a certain point. You don't blow them up, more stop them. So
we got one. I mean, we got an EMP loaded, but given that this is a spaceship in a toxic ice fuckhole, this ain't it is a bit of a last resort, but if we will load it up. If we need to drop it, we'll get as many people as we can into the biospheres, and as many people as they can into EV suits and all right, we'll load it up.
Yep, buddy. Let's make it happen. As you see, I kind of finish low suiting up at that moment, just in case if I have to get outside.
They take the cigar out of their mouth and like kind of raise it almost like a toasted wine, like a toast with a wine glass. Like, all right, and you make your way out into the cold. Now, actually, I know I said we weren't going to do this earlier, but this planet, as I've described it, is real fucky. And so, like, I think we are actually going to have a little bit of an expedition of you trying to get to this location. This is... Make sure I'm using the right move here. We got session moves, adventure moves. Yeah, expedition is the thing that I want. Yeah, okay, because you are trailblazing your route through perilous space and journeying over hazardous terrain. So I am going to peel back the curtain and talk a little bit about what I am doing at this moment. This is there are 5 categories. There are troublesome, dangerous, formidable, epic, and one other that I don't remember hold on. Now I gotta...
Bad real news. Really, really, really bad.
Real bad, like bad. Worst is what's the exact phrasing? Okay. So there are 5 ranks in Ironsworn. They set the difficulty for the things that you are attempting. They are troublesome, dangerous, formidable, extreme, and epic. I think I'm going to mark this as dangerous, which is that every success that you get is going to give you 2 clicks on a 10-mark challenge track. I'm writing down a challenge track for this expedition. I'm going to bump it down to troublesome just in the interest of time, which means that every time you succeeded a roll, you are going to check 3 boxes of a 10-box challenge track. So, you are making your way through this rapidly changing, toxic, clouded environment. I'm going to ask you, how are you moving towards this ship? Are you moving at speed? Are you staying under the radar? Or are you staying vigilant?
It depends on these guys. Are they like already like inside where they're trying to do? Or are they kind of like in the midst of parking and getting out themselves?
I think they have parked. I think like they have parked. The lights on the ship, like you can see the ship still and you can see it burning, but they have like docked, they have settled in, and like they are completely stationary. There may be people out and about moving around, they may be monitoring the lodge, but like they are stationary. They're not going anywhere.
I think he's going to be a little bit speedy just because of the monumental importance of what they have. So I think he is going to be a little bit more speedy with his approach.
So roll me plus edge.
Fantastic. 2 7.
7. That is a weak hit. You can make it. You're gonna make a choice here. You reach a waypoint. Let me determine what the waypoint is. There is an oracle for this because this game's got oracles for everything.
What do you need? I got a spaceship. I got an animal. I got whatever you need.
It really is very much like that. Let me just find
as a GM, I appreciate that. I appreciate the amount of stuff you have to make off the fly. I appreciate the tables.
I really, really like, that's one of the things that like, it's what makes this game so easy to like effortlessly run is that I can cruise to a table and just find something that like fits. It's not accurate. Like you find you have like ducked low in a basically practically a snow tornado. Like you have kind of found a quiet ledge to hide under as you are surrounded by the cloud of a snowstorm. It has given you perfect coverage. You're perfectly hidden, but you have to make a choice here. Is there a peril that you are facing, or are you suffering a cost on your way to this location?
I think he's going to face a peril, and I think he's going to use his kinetic during this. So with that, his more kinetic powers are going to show up as he kind of sees of like, I am only human, I need to lock in, and just very much begins to use that other side of him to try to maneuver his way out of this.
Yeah, and I think what that represents is I'm going to have you roll face danger. I'm going to have you add your kinetic ability to this. This is going to be, I think, edge or wits, whichever is. I think this is edge. We're calling this edge.
Alrighty.
And add your kinetic ability to that. And let me roll mine on my challenge dice.
I got a 5, but I rolled a 1.
That's a strong hit. That's what matters. Take +1 momentum.
Every time.
I rolled a 1 and a 2 and a 4. I rolled a 2 and a 4. So you are able to use your kinetic abilities to basically like leap from these very kind of metallic, kind of hurl yourself from sort of like metallic stone ledge to metallic stone ledge. You're able to get a little bit closer. You're kind of hopping along these craggy cliffs. Same question. Are you moving quickly? Are you moving stealthily? Or are you moving carefully?
He's gonna be quick. He's just like, it's okay. It's not gonna happen again. And just begins to continue forward.
Roll me plus ledge or plus edge.
7. Oh, that's what I had before. I didn't save me. Let's see.
7 is also a weak hit.
Oh boy!
I rolled a 2 and a 7, and I get advantage on ties. What this I think represents is I am going to. I think this is physically very exhausting, and I'm going to have you roll a suffer move as a result of this. I think that you are enduring some harm. I think this is going to drop your health by 2. Which means your health is now at a +3, and you can choose to roll your iron or health, whichever is higher.
It's gotta be my health. I got a 3 in that bad boy.
Okay, great. I get to explain my favorite mechanic. And also open up a table that is my favorite table in the game. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Where
is
are
not good. This is not good.
It's not good. I rolled double 10.
Oh boy. This is why GM. I don't have to deal with this.
57. Great. Excellent. Good. Okay, yeah. I actually know exactly what is going to happen here. So 2 things happen. You're going to take an extra point of harm, dropping your health to +2. And the reason that happens is because you get tackled. You get tackled by something stalking in the snow. Let me find out exactly what that thing is real quickly. Rolling on some more tables. Really rolling rolling a D100 100 times was very much the right call, because I get to do a bunch of weird things and not necessarily know the answer.
It's like, okay. What kind of pain will you have?
What kind of pain are you gonna have? Cool. Great. Did a quick check of safety tools to make sure that a weird answer was acceptable. That's great. We love that answer. This is Oh, baby. Oh, these dice are doing me favors today.
This is why I'm a GM. This right here. I don't have to deal with this stress.
Oh.
I don't have to deal with this stress.
Oh, baby. Oh, we love these answers. You are tackled by, there's no other way to describe this, a giant iridescent amoeba slams into you. It is the thing that stalks this canyon and absorbs things into itself and dissolves them like acid. You are able to hurl yourself out of the way. You slam into a cliff wall, and this thing is, slurping after you, leaping from cave wall to cave wall, or canyon wall to canyon wall, like slamming my microphone the hardest I've ever hit anything in my life.
So fast. You shouldn't be that fast. You don't have any tactile speed. You're a blob. It's just in his head.
What are you doing? How are you getting out of this situation?
I think he's going to use his kinetics again to just almost like create a barrier between himself and this amoeba, and then immediately try to push it as far back as he can. That's
great. That rips. That is going to be... I think that's going to be a face danger plus wits. Actually, in fact, I might even call for a different move altogether. Let me look at a different move and see how I feel about it. Yeah, this is going to be a battle roll plus wits. Battle is when you fight a battle and it happens in a blur. You are using your kinetic powers, so I'm going to say roll plus wits, add your kinetic ability to it. Tell me what that ability is.
Come on.
Yeah, for your kinetic asset. For
my kinetic asset, pretty much is when you're in a risky situation, drawing your powers to make a move. You add +2 and you minus momentum by 2 as well. So this is my 6th time using them. I'm at a -1 momentum after this. I rolled like crap, but if it's wits, that is going to be +5. So that's a 6.
Okay, that is a weak hit. I rolled a 2 and a 9. Great. You are able to block this thing off. Like you are able to you pull up a wall of ice you throw up your hand, a wall of force comes up. This thing splatters against it, reforms, kind of burrows away into the ice. You get away. And I am going to roll 2 challenge dice because we are coming to the end of our expedition.
Like, I'm making it. What is that?
That is a 1 and a 6. So here's how progress moves work in Ironsworn. You have been adding to this challenge track through your expedition moves. You have 6 boxes filled. I now roll my 2 challenge dice, which are 2d10, and I compare it to a result of +6, which is the total progress you've made on this objective. I rolled a 1 and a 6, which means this is a weak hit. Let me see exactly what happens at the end of a weak hit. You finish an expedition. Perfect. You arrive at your location with an unexpected complication. You're going to fill in a box of your Discovery's Legacy track.
All right.
That basically means that you've gained a little experience. You've gained some experience. You'll have 2 experience to spend as you navigated this environment and sort of chased after something. What this represents is the complication is you throw this up, you limp to safety just in time to hear several energy rifles power up in your direction.
Oh my God. I think it's just come on.
And you look, and sure enough, the crew of the Anteater, which is about 4 or 5 heavily armed mercenaries, heard somebody thrashing against a gigantic ice anteater or ice amoeba, and armed up to go see what's going on.
They just said from the outside. Hi, gentlemen.
And they kind of just sort of hover with their guns. What are you trying to do here?
I'm very curious. In terms of their ship, is it in a position where someone could fire at them, or do they need to come out a little bit more?
That's a really good question.
Well, guys, if you're just slowly backing away to very much you got him in his sights, take the shot kind of energy.
You know what? Roll me plus shadow.
Oh boy.
I think that's exactly what's about to happen.
I got a 3, so it's okay.
I think you start to back up and you're talking, and for a moment they kind of follow, and then you hear staticky from a radio speaker. If you are trying to get us out of position so that you can fire one of the lodge's shipside cannons at us, you'll have to try a little bit harder than that. Puttering out from behind these like 3-armed mercenaries in a little tiny saucer machine with a big dome and a bunch of fluid inside is kind of a sort of a MODOK situation, like the Marvel MODOK, sort of little body, big head, floating in a big jar of fluid, a little bit third stage guild navigator situation, floating behind them. Also 2 machine guns on the little shuttle. If you think that you are going to outwit the legendary, the once in a generation god of bandits, Arturo Ramos, the outlaw king of the stars, you have another thing coming.
You said last name was Ramos?
I sure did.
Are we any relation? It's like, do I know you?
I mean, certainly it's certainly a shared last name.
It's like, hey, I think we're relatives. So, we shouldn't be fighting. We should be having a barbecue. I mean, I know you're the, brains of the operation, but come on, we just gonna sit back, relax. I'm not trying to blow you up. I'm an explorer. We don't blow things up. We catalog things. It's not really my jam.
Roll me plus heart.
Not all the things I am bad at. It's another 3.
That is... Oh boy. Let me bust. That's another plot twist. I really love every time I roll a match on these dice, I get to roll a plot twist.
There's so many plot twists. This is the end of a Quentin Tarantino film here.
The second that you say that you are related, everyone's guns drop. And for a moment, it seems like you have won the day. Like, for a moment, you feel pretty good about, like, A, you found a family member, B, you got them to lower their guns. It's weird that they're not looking at you anymore. It's weird that they're kind of looking over your shoulder, but you know what? Like, it's fine. It's all good. It's weird that they're backing up now. That's a little bit odd.
I think it's just in his mind is like, you gotta be kidding me.
What are you doing?
I think he just uses his kinetic to just, like, a very much side B step out of where he is. Because he knows if they're running away, it's either big or it's going to smash him. So he's just going to side B step out the way.
You hurl yourself and you watch as Arturo and the gang, like, hurl themselves backwards or, like, scramble back to the ship. You see, Arturo's ship straight up, like, rears backwards and kind of does the Akira slide backwards and start hurtling back towards the anteater. And you turn back just to see a sort of uncontrollable, rapidly spiraling portal appearing behind you. It is like it is a hole that has been torn in the cosmos is starting to, like, appear directly above the lodge and directly behind where you were standing.
I think in his comms, he's just blaring, "Baby, I need you because I thought I was him and I was not him. So I need you to come and get me."
Beep, 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 beep. Heroic one-liner. One rescue coming up. And, like, the ship starts to take off and starts to, like, hurtle towards you. Railgun. Hey, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, friendo.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a small problem. I don't know if you're seeing what I'm seeing above
Ooh, I'm
station.
feeling it.
Yeah, you probably want to find some cover. I don't know what happened when we tried to secure the asset. Kind of activated. We didn't really know what we were doing, but now there is maybe a portal to beyond the void unfolding. We are going to go ahead and lock down all stations. Sorry that we couldn't invite you in for some barbecue and gambling, but them's the breaks sometimes. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for spending some time at the lodge. We really hope you enjoyed your stay. If you survive this, dinner and gambling's on the house. Comms cut off.
You just another freaking day in this galaxy.
Yeah. So, what are you doing?
I am running to my ship. I am like trying to get as the closest thing right now of just self-preservation.
Roll me plus. I think this is edge. If you're just going as fast as possible, roll me plus edge.
I'm going to connect, so I'm at a -3 now for my momentum. So I'm still pretty strong, but let's see. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. So that's 8.
8 is a strong hit.
Finally.
8 is a strong hit. That is you make it. Beep beep throws open the hatch, or throws open the steps. You grab hold. You are thrown into the ship. The thing starts to peel open. Technically, this was also a match, so I get to do something that I think is a very good beat as you take off. You see, and like, what is your reaction to this, genuinely? And I peek through this portal. Like, you see like a single kind of Godzilla eye blinking as it sort of peers into this portal.
I think I pick up the radio and goes, "Hey, Railgun, there won't be a problem, but I think a kaiju's gonna come through this bad boy, so if you got guns, I highly suggest you just shoot at the portal. No questions asked. Shoot everything you have."
I have been waiting my entire life for somebody to say this, and
be careful. I am still
rear back. They rear back. You are flying one direction. And just it is the 4th of July. Like, it is the outer space 4th of July is just a wave of laser cannons blast into this portal. The portal, like, gets overwhelmed with energy and explodes. There is just glistening neon light and energy overwhelming everywhere. You tear into low orbit. Your ship is damaged. Your systems are temporarily non-responsive as you are kind of floating. And then in your front viewing window, lowering in front of you, is the Anteater. Guns like lowered, and then you get a ping on the comms.
Yes, this is the Nova. How can I help you?
The great bandit king of the far stars,
just
Arturo
get to it, Poindexter.
Okay, you know what? Have a little flair, okay? You gotta appreciate the dramatic if you're in this business, if you're gonna survive, okay?
I just got jumped by jelly that is the fastest I've ever seen, and almost got blown to bits by a man with a cigar and a kaiju!
Okay. You know what? Now it's my turn to say, okay, get on with it, okay? Listen. You were saying before all reality poured open and we got confronted by the gods of outer space, something about family. You want to elaborate on that?
Name's Reggie Ramos. I am looking for my family. They kind of got lost out here. I'm just making my way to one of the last set of coordinates I had, but I don't know if you would care about that.
Give me a forge. I think this is the final roll of the game. Give me a forge connection roll plus heart.
Got a. Do I have anything else besides heart, or that's it?
Heart.
Okay.
Heart to it.
4.
All right. Let me roll my challenge dice.
Come on.
That is a weak hit. You know, my dad used to tell me a story about, like, his family getting scattered to the stars, and admittedly, I kind of figured if I, Arturo Ramos, Bandit King of the High Stars,
yeah.
could be enough of a legend and send up a signal that was bright enough, maybe somebody with the same family history would track me down. It's not exactly what happened here, but it seems we may have a shared family history after all.
So does that mean you can put your guns down?
And like, yeah, you hear you hear on your ship their guns power down, which, considering that you're in low orbit, tells you how many guns they were packing on that vessel. And they go, I think you and I might be able to maybe embark on an operation together, a joint partnership, a shared objective, if you will.
Oh? I only have one question, if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah?
You got a washer and a dryer.
Yeah, we got the whole suite here. We got a washer, dryer, it automatically irons clothes. We got a hell of a record
thank
collection.
God. Then it considered me signed aboard.
And as you say that, out of nowhere, appearing out of warp drive, are no less than 6 military police vessels. They immediately all send up signals of, Anteater, you are under arrest for grand larceny, murder, piracy. Arturo, hey, do you want to,
Yeah.
any chance you want to get at it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and get at it. Both ships blast off, narrowly pursued by these police cruisers, and as they blast off into outer space, that is game.
Yeah. It's so God. My boy had the worst day ever. Got attacked by space jelly.
I love this game so much. Like I said, I can run this game with half a page of scribbled notes and some random dice rolls, and I can run this game like nothing.
I can see
because
why. This is awesome.
It's so, the way that it uses so much cool, like, the rules act in such a cool way to, like, constantly be introducing the next big development.
Mm-hmm.
The plot twists and the really clever implementation of, like, that Powered by the Apocalypse mixed success, like, it all just plays so fun that it hits. I could play this game for 1 billion hours.
Well, now at least I know I got a sci-fi TTRPG now. So this is it was pretty great. It's pretty chaotic, pretty great. Love the energy that comes with it.
What was your favorite moment from play?
I think getting jumped by Jelly, because it is very much that Borderlands energy. Just they're doing something normal, then something out of the wazoo comes out of nowhere. Because I thought I had that in the bag, and then it slowly derailed. I was like, maybe I might get shot, maybe the city, I don't know, just space amoeba comes out of nowhere. I love moments like that. I always love when you take a normal situation and then something weird gets in it, and it makes everything so much more better.
I love it. And what I really love about that, like, peeling back the curtain, is I rolled I got that there was a complication. I rolled that there was a plot twist. And a little bit about, like, what went into running this particular scenario is I had 0 notes except for I randomly generated a planet, I randomly generated a spaceship, and I randomly generated, like, a thing. So, like, I knew the lodge, I knew that there was the pirates that were going to come down, and then I was just kind of like, we'll see how all of these pieces intersect as we go. And I knew that one of the things about the planet was there is a creature lurking that stalks smaller prey. So the second
horrible for that planet that there's just like, have you heard about the space jelly out there? It's there. This is a whole Jaws scenario out there.
And like, what's great is that like, as soon as that complication came up, I was like, oh, I have this toy in my toy box. Let me bust it out. And then I just rolled on some random tables, and the first result I got was, it's an amoeba. And I was like, well, fuck. Second result, it's rainbow colored. Great. It's gigantic. I was like, this fucking rules. Oh, man, this was fun. This was great.
It was.
Thank you so much for playing this with me. I had a blast.
This is awesome.
So, real quick, before we wrap up, where can people find you and your work online?
You can find me, Chris Colón, on Twitter while it's still alive at VO_Colón. That is COLON. In terms of my channel where I produce and make a bunch of stuff, you can follow that at Taino Tales over on that Twitter over there. Kind of a little bit separate. If you can find one of them, you'll find both of them because they're all tagged together.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. This was an absolute fucking delight. And for now, I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap things up. Take a future me.
Thanks, Past Me, and thanks again to Chris for coming on the show. God, that game was fun. Like, that game was so good and so cool, and I really love, I love Starforged, and Chris was a wonderful person to play with. This game was something special, and I am over the moon about it. Be sure to head to the show notes to pick up your own copy of Ironsworn Starforged and check out all of Chris's work, Taino Tales, the Mythic Initiative. Follow Chris on Twitter at VO_Colón. Then while you're on Twitter, follow us at Party of One Pod, and then follow us, everywhere else on the internet at either Party of One Podcast or Jeff Stormer. Jeff Stormer on Blue Sky, Party of One Podcast on Tumblr, Party of One Podcast on TikTok. I'm around. Then once you've done all of that, head over to patreon.com/Jeff Stormer to support the show. Backers of the show get access to bonus Party of One episodes, deeper dives with guests, side series, other random things, and your support pays for the show, its hosting, it pays for guest appearances, and all of that good stuff. You can find all of that and more at patreon.com/Jeff Stormer. Another great way to support the show is by buying some merch over at bit.ly/partyofonemerch, or just, giving us some nice reviews on iTunes or Spotify, telling a friend about the show, sending us an email about how much you like the show, joining our Discord at bit.ly/partyofonediscord. There's a lot of different ways that you can support the show. Then, once you've done all of those things, if you're looking for even more shows to support, check out All My Fantasy Children, which is sort of our sister show. It's a podcast I produce with my best friend, Aaron Catano Saez, where we, Tevrika listeners, submit a prompt every single episode. We spin it into an original fantasy character, a world detail, an item, and we build out a shared universe one story at a time. You can also check out the award-winning Yazeba's Bed and Breakfast actual play produced by myself and Possum Creek Games, a slice-of-life actual play about a heartless witch, a cozy house, and all of the many people making their lives inside. Party of One is produced and edited, as always, by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. Music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Meg Rand, featuring the D&D Sluggers, and the logo for the show is by Evan Rowland. If you'd like to inquire about advertising rates, coming on the show as a guest, or about press coverage of the show, you can email me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And I think that's all we do here. So until next time, thank you so much for listening. Remember to fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance. And as always, party on, everybody. Never